Stampers, Deb Valder here, your Fun Stampers Journey Coach, and today I'd like to show you another holiday card. I'm using one of our frames again. I love these frames. This is the snow frame, and that's the one I used on this card. We do have the ornamental frame, and I can complement it with my rectangle frames, but I'll show you those in just a minute. The die that I'm actually highlighting along with that is our Medallion Wreath die set, and that is found in our Journey Holiday Catalog. And this holiday catalog is just filled with absolutely glorious stuff. It's just breathtaking. All of the dies and all of the accessories. There's nothing that lacks in this catalog. Just an amazing catalog. So this is the die right here, the Medallion die. And it has 3 pieces to it. It sells for $11.95. It's just a beautiful, beautiful die. I'm also going to be using the bow from the For You die, and this set is adorable. You're going to see me use it for not only the holidays, but also for your birthday. Okay, so that's one of the things that we're going to highlight. This is the focus of this card right here. And like I said, I also used the For You die set. I used the bow out of that one. And then for my words today, I decided to go with the Snowman days. And I just think they're so cute, but I love the words. So that's what I'm going to highlight today. All right? So let me show you from the bottom up what we're going to do. So let's bring in my frame dies right here. We have 2 new frame dies in the Journey Holiday Catalog, and this is the one I'm going to be using today. It's the Snow Frames die set, and it's a set of 2 dies. Let me just show them to you. Here's the one with the full back, or the full piece in the middle, and this is the one that we use as the border die. Okay, so let me just show you some examples because they look so much prettier when we can see them up close and personal. So I have my die, and when you do this, this is what it looks like, and here's your canvas. You can work on that piece right there. So that's the snowflake die. This is the border die right here, okay, and then our canvas is down here that you can work on. But you can also take this part of it and cut it off, and now you have just a top border die. And then you can use this as the canvas instead of the white bottom. Now this is a 5.5 by 4 1/4 inch piece of cardstock, so it's a true 1/4 inch piece of cardstock, and it just lends itself to that. All right, so now what else you can do is you can take and you can cut pieces apart. So what I like to do is to take just little bits and pieces and use them as corner borders. All right, so there's one, and here's one. There's just endless possibilities. This is the one we're going to use today, but I did want to highlight some of the things in this other one also. All right, so this is the ornament frames die, and in this one, I just want to show you, it's the same thing. You've got a full piece right here. That would be this one right here. You've got the full piece. You've got the border die. You can start taking and cutting off little things for the corners like we did before, but you can also, this complements our rectangle dies right here. So if you own the Journey rectangle dies, they coordinate nicely with these. So you can take this frame right here, and you can take and add one of the Journey rectangles in here and make a real life true to come frame. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I love that. And you can do the same thing here. You can use one of our square dies for the inside there. Just a little note on how you can maximize your dies. You know, you look at them and they don't always have to be exactly what they look like. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my card base, and I pre-cut all of the dies because I know you all know how to do that. So I pre-cut my dies. And of course, I'm not doing one, I'm doing 2 at a time. So I'm going to take these, I'm going to just punch out there's a few of them that, watch how easy these things pop out, okay? So I just punched the rest of those 2 out. I noticed that they were still in there. All right, so that's going to be my base. So I'm just going to take some of my Journey foam squares. I'm going to take my large ones. I'm going to put one here in the middle, one here on the side, and we are good to go. All right, and then I'm not even going to take off the sticky thing on the middle because that's just held as a placer so that the inside doesn't kind of sink in. All right, so I'm just going to take these and decide which one I want on the corner. Do I want that one on the corner, or do I want that one? I think I'm going to go this way this time. That's the opposite of what that one is. And yes, I'm going white on white. I do like to pop these frame dies up because I think it just gives it even more dimension than that is already there. All right, so there's that right there. Now what I'm going to do is I took this die right here. I cut out 2 of the wreaths. And somebody said to me, how come the wreath doesn't go all the way around? I don't know. But I worked with it and I made it a full wreath, okay? So you can use it this way. And just have a half wreath, or you can do what I did. So on the first layer, I'm going to take and so I did 2 of those. On the first layer, I'm going to take some of my Journey Craft glue here and just put a couple of dots so that I can just lay it down flat to the card base right here. All right. All right. So this one is going to go. The flat one is going to go upside down. Like this. Okay. And this one, I'm actually going to take some of our mini Journey foam squares and put them on. Now, I like to take and cut my foam squares, just a row of them at a time, okay? And then if I have some that won't fit these, like that one will, okay? But I don't want them showing on the outside of it. So these are so tiny and so adorable. So all I do is I just literally leave them on the plate. I'm not going to put too many on, but I do need to kind of stabilize this. So I'm just going to take these little half pieces and just bring them up onto the sides here. Okay, there. That should be enough. You don't have to overdo it. And then I'll just take these off. I'm going to grab one more and put it right here on the top. Alrighty, and then just take off the little pieces right here. There, I think I got them all off. Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this one, see how fast this is? You can mass produce these also. I'm going to take this one and just lay it over the top just like that. And then from this die right here, I cut out myself a bow, and I'm going to glue that to the top right here. Okay, so I'm just going to use my Journey Craft glue again, put a little dot of glue right there, and then add that to the upper part right there. I'm going to put some Journey glaze on that at the end, but for right now. Now, I should have stamped my words before that. Let me just grab my kiwi and my stamp. So here is the block, and here is the stamp. I love, love, love the way our stamps come. I'm just going to use the Merry Christmas and add it to my words. There's no putting together. You just peel it off and you're good to go. Alright, so here's my Merry Christmas. And I'm hoping that the foam squares don't... Not too bad. Alrighty, so now what I'm going to do is... I'm going to take my small... I'm going to show you something here. Okay, another one of Deb's tips. Who said we need markers? This is going to bug me that didn't totally ink up. And that's my fault. That's not anything to do with the stamps. It's not. I put it on and it's got foam squares in there. So instead of using markers, okay, now when you have markers and you try to fix something like that, when you set the markers down, it kind of bleeds a little bit. But because we're taking this and this tip is so fine, it's actually better than a marker. So this is just the smallest blending brush that we have, and I'm just running it along the side of my ink pad. And now what I'm doing is just closing that up. Ta-da! But see, when you use a marker, you put it down, and what happens is it bleeds before you can get going. So if you're trying to connect point A to point B, there's this fatness to it. I don't know how else to explain it, but this works right here. This is our small blending brush, and you already have your ink pads, and then all you have to do is just kind of connect the dots, and it really does work so much better. All right, so what I did was I put my bow on here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my my brand new Berries and Holly. Okay, these are our new little they're kind of like pearls, but they're Christmas colors. So I'm going to take some of these. I'll take the berries, not the holly, and I'm going to add them to my my little piece right here. Now that's different than what I did over here, and that's okay. You can do different things, but I just think these berries look so adorable. I was going to kind of offset it a little bit, but I don't think that looks very well. And I'm just going to kind of take and put a few here and there. And I think that really makes this pop. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. I absolutely love it. Now the only thing I have left to do is to add my Journey glaze, and yes, I do that while it's on here so I don't have to touch it afterward. And all I'm going to do is just run it to the end. All right? This stuff is fantastic. You can get it in a small jar or a large jar, it doesn't matter, whichever one, and it just is beautiful. There we go. Now I'll have to set that aside to let it dry. Right now it looks cloudy, but when it's done, it comes out to be nice and shiny. I love it. So I also, on this first card, I did add those, I did add the Journey glaze to these little berries, and I just punched these berries out with a hole punch, and that's how I got those. So here's the two different cards. This is a different color right here. I did a different color than I did here. This one I think is Cranberry Bliss, and this one right here is Candy Apple. So you can do whichever one you want, but see how simple that card is? You can crank these out for the holidays in no time. So if you have to mass produce some Christmas cards, this is a beautiful one. These background dies are to die for. Seriously, they're just absolutely gorgeous. You'll see me be using them a lot. I hope you liked my post for today. It's super simple. And take care. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.